A warm welcome to you, dear soul, on planet Earth right now. This is the guidance for September 2023. And it is time, that is really the main message. It is time for a power change. It's time for the power in all of your lives to change. It's time for the power in countries to change. And in September, I invite you now to look specifically at your life and see who has or what has the reins. What actually in this time period, or maybe up until now, has had the power in your life. What's the guiding force? What is reigning? Who is reigning in your life? And why it is time for a power change is because the energies are shifting and moving, which means that the focus of humans and souls on the new power, which is on the new consciousness, becomes more and more precise. And that new power and that new focus is the consciousness of love. It is time to let love reign and regain its place in the world, in this world, and in your incarnation. So far, humans have been reigned and led mainly by fear. And this could also be a factor in your life. If you look at what dictates your decisions, what is the main driving force of your emotions throughout the day, there are always only two options. One is fear, and the other one is love. There is nothing else. Every other emotion, every other thought results from one of these two polar opposites, let's say. Which means it is time for a change in power in your life and on planet Earth. Fear knows that it will lose against love every time. Fear knows that the ultimate power is love, and love has the ultimate power, and fear is powerless only when it comes to love. Everything else it can kind of get. Everything else it can manipulate, it can lead, it can dominate. There is only one force in the universe that cannot be dominated by fear, and that's love. And humans, it is time to make that shift and let love be the leader of your world and this world again. Love consciousness, unity consciousness, 4D consciousness is unfolding every day a little bit more, despite what we may see displayed on the world stage. Why do we still see so many things that imply or suggest that we're not on the right track, that we're on the path of destruction, that everything is lost, that we're being dominated, that our freedoms are being taken away, and that everything heads into the direction of enslavement? Why is that? That is because what has been prevalent on the planet so far, which is the reign through fear, is trying to hold on to its power. And how it does it is by giving out these messages of you are powerless people and you need our guidance and you need our lead and you need to be told what to do by us. And we're telling you you're powerless because you have no power over this catastrophe, you have no power over that, keeping you in powerlessness by portraying the negative aspects on the planet and instilling fear in you. That's really what it is about, instilling fear. That's how fear keeps control. So by keeping human beings in fear, they are able to be led and be controlled and be manipulated because they want some savior to keep them safe and to bring them out of potential dangers or actual dangers or perceived dangers or imagined dangers. And that's what fear does. Now, it's time to be empowered again. It is time to be empowered again and to not let anybody tell you that you do not have power. But the only way you can regain your power is by allowing the most powerful force in the universe to reign in your life. To actually, by you taking love, becoming it again, which you are already, so it's really a rediscovery of who and what you are. By discovering, I am that most powerful force in that universe. I am love. And I can meet everything, and that's the practical part of this now. I can meet everything that comes my way with love. Now, that's a practice. In the end, it's the only spiritual practice you will need to be empowered forever. And truly empowered. This is authentic power. Everything else is false power. Fear has to manipulate in order to keep control and power. Love doesn't have to do it. Love is the most powerful when it's itself, which means authentic. So by us humans, us souls, becoming our authentic selves again, not only do we regain our empowerment, but we also nullify and cancel out every power fear has over us, because fear and love cannot coexist. And this is why it truly comes down to the soul's decisions here, while in human bodies, walking human paths. It comes down to their decisions to choose love over fear. And by doing that, the power changes again on the whole planet, in the collective, with each soul choosing love today. In your life, you may think this is not significant, and you may think, I need to look to the world stage and see what the big players are doing so I can see what happens in my future. That's not how it works. Everything is vibration and energy, and every little soul here contributes to the collective energy field. So with every soul deciding to become the power and the force of love, and love means freedom. Humans, you need to hear this. If and when you choose love, you choose freedom. Nothing and no one can take that away, no matter what happens in a three-dimensional illusion. Love means freedom. So if you choose love, you choose freedom. And by every soul, every human choosing this in their lives, meaning in every little thought, in every situation, in every challenge, choosing love, they choose the new power. They choose the true and authentic power. And they choose to illuminate not only their internal world and their internal universe, but the whole world and the whole universe. Because by every soul awakening and lighting up grandening their own inner light, this is how the planet becomes more light. This is how the light on the planet becomes stronger. And that's exactly what lightworkers do. And that's exactly what souls that are awakening to the truth of who they are, what they do and the power they hold. So it is time in September now to move really deeply into this power shift. It's up to you. It's not up to anyone else. It is up to you. It is up to me. It is up to us to reclaim the power and put new power structures in place. And those structures will be structures of freedom and self-empowerment. You will not need anyone to tell you what you should or should not believe or think or do and how you should behave. If you are connected to your inner power source, and that inner power source, because it's love, it's also combined with wisdom. Love in itself can be foolish if it's very strongly oriented towards giving, or because it's very strongly oriented towards giving, more so than looking at oneself. It's very much focused on service to others, service to whoever needs the service. So it can forget the self sometimes. That's where wisdom comes in. But if you look at that source of that power within and allow it to become the most powerful source in your life and driving force in your life, you're leading by example in a new direction. You're leading this planet into freedom. It is time for a change in power. It's time. And it's up to every single one of you to let go of the reign of fear. Let go of believing in fear and accept the freeing power of love in your life and welcome it in onto this planet. As long as we allow fear to be our master, we will never be free. As long as you look to an outside force, whether it is a human being that seems powerful in the world, whether it is a God force that seems outside of you, whether it is aliens that you hope will help or will do the job for us, as long as you do this, you're holding on to a belief that says, I am not powerful. I need to be guided into freedom. I need to be brought into freedom. Somebody else needs to take the lead in my life. There is nobody else because all is one. You and that other person or outside force that you give power to, you are one. And that's why your choice, whether you give fear or love, your obedience or your followership, that matters. And you can only be free when you choose love. There is no way around this. You will never be free as long as you accept the paradigm that whoever instills the most fear in you is the one that you will follow and trust to guide you to salvation and to bring you out of that fear state. Because that's what we want. When we feel fear, we do everything we can to calm that fear. And we follow whoever we need or think we need to follow that can calm that fear inside of us and make it go away. Because it's so unbearable. Because it's the most disempowering feeling there is. And why is that? We need to ask, why is that? It's because it's the most untrue state that we can be in. because it is here and who we truly are is there. And this tension between what we feel then, the fear state, and the true state is almost unbearable, or it is unbearable. So we need to change this. We need to change the fear and come into a state of calm equilibrium again, like balance again inside of us. So we look at whoever can bring us out of that fear. I follow you so I can feel in balance again. I can feel calm again. I can be brought out of that stressful state again. And that's how fear controls. You might know this already, right? Like in your mind, with conscious thought, you may say, yeah, I know all this. And you may still not act on it because the knowledge is not enough. The truth of it and what it means, that's what matters. It means that we get to choose who and what we give power to. And if your heart is open, and if your heart knows that in acknowledging that the most powerful force and source in the universe is love, because that's where all comes from, everything, even the most opposite. If that resonates, then this has to have a consequence in your life. If you give lip service and still act out of fear every single day, that's not going to change one thing in your life or anyone else's. We need to start dedicating our time, our energy, our thoughts, our emotion, our whole path, our life to this one truth. I give my life to love. I allow the power of love to reign in my life. That's all I want. That's the truth that I know. And that's what I live by every day. Not just for me, but for everyone. And that's the greatest service we can bring to ourselves and to humanity, because that will free us all. And this is the inspiration and the guidance for September. It's time for a changeover in power. And you and I and every soul listening to this with an open heart is part of that change in power. I'm going to bless you. I'm going to send you love and peace for this month. And we'll talk again next time, if you want to.